So in my family, we have a tradition that you can pick whatever you want for your birthday dinner. And when my bonus mom was growing up, her brother used this privilege as a weapon. My bonus mom's most hated meal in the entire world was tuna casserole with a side of peas. And what just so happened to be her brother's favorite meal in the entire world. So every year he would ask for that dinner as his birthday dinner, and my bonus mom grew up in a house where you ate what was put on your plate for dinner. You didn't get to decide that you were gonna eat it or go have chicken nuggets, none of that. But that never stopped her from trying to be sneaky about it. She had so many tricks for getting away with not eating the peas. At first she would stuff them under the rim of her plate, but then she got caught doing that, and so she spat them into her milk, but then she was told to drink all her milk, so finally she just stuffed her cheeks with the peas and then spat them out in the toilet. Literally anything in a book to not have to eat the peas. It is not a dumb question at all, don't worry. So I posted a few videos now talking about my bonus mom, and people have been asking, what is a bonus mom? I have my own reasons for calling my stepmom my bonus mom, and it's mainly due to the fact that there are so many negative connotations surrounding the word stepmom. I think like a lot of us, I grew up with Disney movies, and can you name one Disney movie where the stepmom isn't evil? I mean, we got the OG right here. No one can forget Lady Tremaine, especially because she's been reincarnated so many times in different Cinderella movies. My favorite of which is this reincarnation. And then of course we got this one from The Parent Trap, and even though she technically was never the stepmom, she was almost the stepmom. So because I grew up with those media representations of stepmoms, I never liked calling my own stepmom a stepmom. For a while I called her my extra mom, but then I didn't like that because it just seemed like she was expendable, so finally I settled for bonus mom, and she loves it, and so do I. Okay, not only do I love that, but it reminds me that my bonus mom has this cute little thing where she says that every 10 years, her contract of marriage with my dad is up for renewal, so he needs to be on his best behavior. And I remember when I was about 14, this contract was up for renewal, and they were in the car talking about it, kind of laughing about it. I was in the back seat, and I said, well, you know, you didn't just marry my dad, but you got me too, and we're a package deal. And my dad was just like, yeah, we're a package deal. And now that I'm almost 24, that contract is back up for renewal. And my dad said something like, oh, well, remember what Jessica said, we're a package deal. And I was like, actually, I'm an adult now, and she's gonna be my mom no matter what, so this is all on you, boo-boo. And he was just like, oh. And of course, my bonus mom was like, that's right, you better watch it, boy. Don't worry, though. I'm pretty sure she's gonna renew that contract. So growing up, my dad and my bonus mom told me that if I ever needed help, all I needed to do was ask for help. Don't throw a tantrum, don't cry, just ask for help. And they said that no matter where they were or what they were doing, if I asked for help, they would come help me. Well, one day my bonus mom is sitting on the couch, and that couch was the prime viewing spot to watch the TV at, and she hears me from my room go, I need help! So she gets up and comes into my room and is like, what's wrong? What do you need? And I look at her, and I grin, and I giggle, and I run past her and fling myself onto the couch. Cause in my house, if a butt left a seat and another butt came and claimed it, then that butt got to keep it. And my bonus mom comes outside, looks at me as I wiggle onto the couch like, hee, and she's like, you know what? Okay. This was a well thought out plan, well executed. She can keep the couch. This time. So I got to watch TV on the best spot on the couch. So a fun fact about me, I have 3 parents. I have a dad, a mom, and a bonus mom, otherwise known as a stepmom, but I don't like that word, so I use bonus mom instead. So my dad and my mom divorced before I was even 2 years old, so my bonus mom has always been a big part of my life, and without the 3 of them, I know I wouldn't be the person I am today. I actually came up with an analogy to describe how they've all kind of come together and made me who I am, and I like to call it the cupcake. So my bonus mom is the actual cake itself of the cupcake. She taught me to be sturdy and reliable, and basically what you see is what you're gonna get. My mom is a 10 layers of frosting on top of that cupcake, okay? She is the sweetest woman you will ever meet, and she taught me to always be sweet and kind to everyone, my friends, my family, and even strangers on the street. And my dad is definitely the sprinkles or the nuts or whatever eccentric topping you could think of to put on top of that cupcake. He definitely taught me that not everything in life has to be serious, and you can always have some fun with everything, even if it's not always at the most appropriate times. So I like to think that I took all the best aspects of my parents and made it into me. Thank you for the reminder, Mom. When I was a kid, my mom used to brew her own black coffee in batches and then keep it in the fridge, and she would use the most delicious creamer, so I was obsessed with her coffee. And of course, since I was a child, I was rarely ever allowed to even have a sip of her coffee because we knew what it would do to me. But there was one day, probably when I was about 9 or 10, where I was going to be home alone, and Mom had asked me to go ahead and, tidy up the house a bit for her, so I asked, hey, could I please have the last little bit of coffee that's in the fridge then? And she was like, yeah, sure. So she leaves her work, and I use her creamer to make a delicious coffee, and I guzzle it down. And then I proceed to clean the house from top to bottom, moving rugs and furniture and everything. I mean, I was on a roll. I was having a great time. Right up until I try to sit down and relax after cleaning all day and watch some cartoons, and I can't physically sit down. Did I mention that her coffee was like jet fuel? I ended up getting really scared that I couldn't sit down and calling Mom at work going, what's wrong with me? And Mom was like, never again. My mom worked as a preschool teacher for about 10 years. She taught 3-year-olds primarily. And one day, shortly after the movie Mulan came out, the animated one of her little girls walked into her classroom with her mom with her hair looking crazy. And my mom looked to the little girl's mom and said, oh dear, did someone try cutting her own hair? And the mom said, yeah, she watched Mulan. And my mom was just like, uh-oh. So she decided to cut her hair after seeing Mulan cut her hair in the movie? And the mom was just like, uh-huh, I should have never let her watch it. And meanwhile, this little 3-year-old is like, hee, I look like Mulan now. So my mom taught preschool for about 10 years. She taught primarily 3-year-olds, and she was one of the most amazing teachers, one of the most kind, sweetest, just wonderful teachers you could have. But that didn't mean she couldn't sometimes get a little sassy. So my mom's class actually had a pet bunny that they kept in a hutch out in the schoolyard, and one day at the end of the day, all the kids were sitting around in circle time waiting for their parents to pick them up, and they had the bunny bouncing around in the middle of them. And this was in Orange County, California, and some of the moms really were like the Real Housewives of Orange County, like that kind. And one of the moms walks in during the circle time, looks down at the rabbit, looks to my mom and goes, what is that? And my mom looks her straight in the eyes and says, it's an alligator. And yes, the mom asked for the manager and went to complain, and my mom got in a little bit of trouble, but she was such a beloved teacher that she basically just got a slap on the wrist and was told, don't be so sassy. And it's one of my favorite stories. So if I'm ever a little sassy, you know who I get it from. So I just got kind of roasted by my own mother. I was just hanging out with a bunch of my creator friends, and my mom texts me asking, so I was wondering, everyone has a special name like Ashley by the Sea, etc. What's yours? And I said, oh, well, my name is just Jessica Vanell, that's it. And she just says, oh. And I'm like, what? Why oh? And then she says, I hoped for something better. To which I just said, wow, Linda. Being honest. And I was like, all right, well, then you come up with something. And she said, okay. I was just like, what is going on? So her wonderful name for me, Sparkles. Jessica Sparkles? Oh, Jessie Sparkles. 'Cause you do. I'm like, thank you. I'll use that immediately. So yeah, guys, please call me Jessie Sparkles from now on.